Howdy, howdy, howdy. My name's Sasuke, and welcome back to Let's Play. I mean, I guess we're reading it. I'm not really doing anything. Let's play Psycholonials. In the last episode, so much happened. So much. There was a video. Percy's dead. Anyway, let's get on into chapter 6. So I'm just clicking on the chapters now so that I can see what the titles are. Oh, Interlude 3 is at the beginning of chapter 6 then. Okay. It doesn't look like I can skip it, so I guess we're just going for it. Jesus fucking Christ. LOL, sorry, that was kind of unprofessional of me. I'm still just taking a moment to process whatever the fuck it was I just saw you do. I know you're capable of many feats when your back is against the wall, but somehow you managed to surprise even me this time. Bravo. But we should make it absolutely clear what's going on here now, okay? There's no going back now, not ever. If there's a picture on the Wikipedia page showing what it means to have just passed the point of no return, we're going to need to replace it with that panel up there. You lying bloody, unconscious, disease-stricken next to a dead loyal simp surrounded by several dozen slaughtered cops, after just having captured an island once belonging to the United States of America. Really great work, actually. I fucking love it. You know why? Because the higher the stakes get, the more potent your choices become. The more power choice itself starts to accumulate. So maybe, why don't we try this again? Maybe, just maybe, you've got what it takes to break through this time. You could pull your shit together, rely on the hospitality of friends and allies, let them nurse you back to health, keep your powder dry for the war ahead, and let there be no mistaking it. There will be war. Or you can just roll over and fucking die already, laugh my ass off. So which one of these compelling options strikes your fancy, huh? Recover. Nope. 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 Come on, don't act so surprised. You knew this was coming. Do I even need to say it anymore? Meaningful choices can only be unlocked by a true successor. And you sure don't look like a successor to me, yet. Not when you're lying on the floor all sick and bloody and sleeping like that. You sort of need to be awake to make choices. It's a critical precondition to the entire idea, dummy. I just wanted to stop by and remind you you're making great progress here. Really like what I've been seeing. Keep it up. Here's an idea. Why don't we cut the bullshit and just make a date? I'll meet you back here in a couple of chapters, and we can do the same charade all over again. Sound cool? Just one more time though, I promise. After that, your true test will come. You gotta trust me. Shit like this just takes a lot of patience, and if there's one thing I'll never run out of again, it's time. Sleep well, Zen. Now we're moving on to the next chapter. But now I know the interludes count as beginning of chapters instead of end of chapters. The Practice of Delegation, chapter 6 of 9. Nice. The sword is almost there. I wonder what's going to happen when the sword hits. The next day. Evacuation of the island was chaotic but swift. Terrified locals stormed the docks, pushing each other closer and closer to the water, but mindful not to tip each other in. They're polite people, decent enough, you always thought. None terribly deserving of being forced to become a prisoner to a seceding summer colony, which is why you went to so much trouble to orchestrate a well-oiled evacuation machine. All told, the vast majority of the evacuation took only a few hours. By the time the sun was setting and boats were returning from their round trips, only a handful of people still waited on the piers. And when boats came back from their drop-offs, many of the waiting locals were a little puzzled to find that the boats weren't returning empty. They were always filled with new groups of people, of well-armed people, jumping onto the docks with gusto and scattering into the neighborhoods and disappearing. Not running away from the danger, but right into it. With every boatful of locals dropped off at the Massachusetts shore, your people always had another squad of recruits from the mainland ready to jump on board and head to the island. It continued on like this for hours, back and forth across the Sound, where the population at the beginning of the day was around 10,000. The final headcount after a near total evacuation was 13,000. Your false flag maneuver simply replaced the entire population of the island with rabid jubilites and then some. The new recruits remained faithful to that the crisis posed no danger to them and was merely a powerful act of pranxis. And they would keep coming well after the evacuation, too. There was no need to bother with the pretense of renting Airbnbs anymore, or keeping a low profile. The new residents of the island began occupying the houses vacated by locals, along with the large supply of empty summer homes. No form of authority existed to stop you anymore. Collectively, all of you are the authority. The only thing left to do is wait and see how this authority will be challenged by the government once it comes to grips with how badly it just got bamboozled. But in the meantime, not even your most cynical antis can dispute the obvious. The island now belongs to you. Unfortunately, it will be some time before you're healthy enough to appreciate your conquests, let alone conscious enough. Your dear friend Abby now struggles to manage the aftermath of your bold decisions. How did she even...
See, I don't know if you can hear me. You have to get better soon, okay? If you didn't make it, I'd be so lost. I don't think I could even go on. People are already looking to me for answers, but I don't have the slightest idea how to handle the situation. The news is going insane about it, and my parents are losing it. I don't know what to tell them. I'm just ignoring them for now until I know what your plan is. I don't even know how are you going to follow this up? I doubt people will believe the bio attack was real forever. There are already a lot of questions about it. What happens next? What if all the people try to come back and, like, send the military this time? Mostly just... I'm so worried about you. Please don't leave me. I'd be so devastated.
How did you get her? How did you find out where she was?
Okay, I'll be back to check on you soon. Your clown ring is downstairs waiting for orders. I guess I'll tell them something. I don't know what yet. To protect the island, I guess? I have no idea what else to even do at this point. Feel better.
Mwah. The makeup. You clown up before you address Z's inner circle. Ring 3, as you've heard them referred to before. You've never interacted with any of these people at all, and you don't know what to say to them. But wearing the paint seems like the right thing to do for the sake of appearances. They will be looking to you for leadership now. What are some of these costumes?
Hi, everybody! I guess none of you ever heard from me directly before, have you? Well, I'm Apple Pie, as I'm sure you know, but you can just call me Abby. I just made my clown name for fun. It was never supposed to be a serious code name or anything. Z is obviously wounded and very sick, so I need to make sure everything is running smoothly while she recovers, which means, well, I'm still not sure what that means. Sorry, I didn't expect having to do this, and I don't really have a plan yet. But what we do know is yesterday Z cleared out the entire population of the island with a really crazy stunt, and we don't know how long before that can last before the authorities catch on to the prank. So I think we'll all need to prepare the islands to keep the island safe from that happening, which means having all of your people, like the many Jubilites under your command. I'm actually not sure how it works. There's like a hierarchy, right? Like you all give orders to subdivisions or clowns and such. So you need to make sure they're all set up to defend against whatever it might be, an agent from the government. Also, I think we need to keep the messaging up. Just make sure that everyone on the mainland knows it's not safe to try to come back. Whether that means keeping up the ruse of yesterday's attack or maybe something else. Anything to deter people from wanting to come back, because I think we've gone way too far to go back to normal now, right? This seems really messy, and we just have to make the best of it. I'm sorry. I'm really overwhelmed by all this. You deserve better leadership than my incoherent babbling. I'm doing my best. Ahem.
Jacqueline. Is the music about to change?
First, may I just say what an absolute honor it is to be serving you, Secretary Apple Pie.
Secretary?
Yes! That is your formal rank within our organization. You are the Secretary of JAPE. I assure you, we have nothing but the utmost sympathy for the difficult position you are in. Everyone here is fully aware of the role you traditionally play within the Jubilite movement. You are, how shall I say, more of an inspirational figure. A hands-off secretary who remains uninvolved with the tedium of daily operations. That's our role, and we are all beyond thrilled to be playing it. so I completely understand if you find yourself in an awkward position. I see, yes, thank you for understanding. Jacqueline is my clownsona name. We all go by our clownsonas in this organization. No human names allowed, as a matter of policy. It's strictly for security reasons, you understand. But we will all be more than pleased to refer to you as Secretary Abby as a special exception, if that is your wish. Oh, yeah, thank you. Or just Abby is also fine. Oh, you got it, Abby. It's so great to finally be speaking with you. Can I just say what an admirer of yours I have always been, long before the rise of Supreme Honk Effects Z. Supreme Honk Effects? Of course. It is quite the title, isn't it? But look at all that she has accomplished. It is a remarkable achievement, and I have absolute certainty that there is not a single Jubilite on this island who will not die for our leader. Yikes, well, okay, that's nice to hear, I guess. But I don't think we need anybody to die for anybody just yet. I think we just need to figure out how to get this crazy situation under control. Naturally, Secretary, or Abby, I mean, you might not favor this spotlight, but it is this clown's humble opinion that your management instincts are every bit as sharp as our Supreme Honk Effects'. But may I make a modest recommendation? Sure. If you find yourself overwhelmed by the tactical situation, I would strongly advise you to consider the practice of delegation. In fact, I would be happy to personally take the reins on implementing all follow-up strategies which are necessary to secure our territory and keep our adversaries at bay. Just give the order and I'll take care of everything. Oh, you would? Well, wow, that actually does sound very helpful. Thank you, Jacqueline. It will be my pleasure to serve you and the Supreme Honk Effects now and always. Okay, so can you start with all that, like, right now? I have some other things I really need to do, like feed my poor horse. He's probably been so worried since I had to leave suddenly the other day. Yes, by all means. I will have all essential operations put into motion immediately. By the end of the day, you will see there's nothing to worry about at all. Now, go feed your beautiful horse. All Jubilites consider the health and well-being of Archbishop David Hasselhoof to be of paramount concern to our mission. You gave my horse a rank? It's a joke, of course. We did not. But we do like to joke around, us clowns, don't we? Oh, well, yes, that was pretty funny. Okay, I'll go do that then. Thanks for the help. Halfway through that, I realized that was a ridiculous accent to give to somebody from Massachusetts, but I don't know the Massachusetts accent off the top of my head. The closest I've got is a bad Kennedy impersonation, and we're not going to do that. But I went for a voice that went with how she was presenting herself rather than them all coming from Massachusetts. You walk away feeling relieved of administrative responsibility, only to realize you now have time to dwell on all your other problems. You're terrified that your friend won't recover from her critical condition. And no matter how successful her subordinates are, you doubt you'll ever be able to shake the feeling that this island could be invaded by the military at any moment. Your parents are pissed, not only at your involvement in the secession of their favorite summer colony, but they now realize they've been played as well. Your mother has caught on to the fact that she was being scammed by her lover, and your father seems to understand you've been playing him for the fool as well. They want their money back, but obviously that's not going to happen. You'll have to think about how to play it. You don't think your mom knows she was being catfished by Z and Percy. Maybe you can try to convince your dad that you were sincere about the Bitcoin stuff, but you were being scammed by the same guy that your mom was. That seems like a plausible out, but it would just involve more lying, and maybe it's not even worth it anymore. Maybe Z was right and you're just better off just giving up on the idea that parents like this are worth having any relationship with at all. You take another look at the news. It's pure madness. You and Z are everywhere you look when it comes to trending topics online and coverage of recent events. The upheaval around the country is accelerating, and all the footage you can find now features way too many clowns in the gatherings for your comfort. No matter which media outlet you turn to, it always seems they'd rather point their cameras at a bunch of unruly clowns than focus on the real issues originally propelling the civil unrest. And yet, it's hard to deny that the gradually coalescing rhetorical message of this clown ruckus ties into Z's political agenda, which she so assiduously itemized in her manifesto.
This movement, which once seemed nothing more than a bunch of anarchist jesters opportunistically making mischief, now more closely represents open revolt against capitalism and imperialist state power. More police stations are falling, and small pockets of territory are being captured by Jubilites, but nobody knows where this is going or what the vision is for the direction of the movement without the guidance of their supreme Honk-effects, otherwise known as your best friend. You need Z, who is currently really unconscious. Oh, slightly less unconscious. Or not? Something's happening. What the hell? Rainbow Moon. Oh, it's that thing. Wait, is the symbol of the game just the symbols on your face slammed together? What is happening? Are you the narrator?
I'm dreaming again. Don't make me wake up this time. I want some answers.
I have no power to wake you up. The sickness inside you keeps you asleep. What do you want to know?
Last time I dreamed of you, you said I was doing well, but doing well at what?
Shouldn't you answer that? What is it you believe you're actually doing?
I don't know. A lot of shit. Fighting for survival.
And you're still alive, are you not?
I guess.
Then what are you? Then you're doing well.
This is some cagey bullshit. I think you know there's a lot more going on here than just surviving. You're the one who gave me all these ideas after all.
Yes.
So why? What do you even want out of this?
You mentioned survival. Perhaps this is my aim as well. Inevitably, we all die, of course. Even entire civilizations die. So doesn't it stand to reason that part of one's quest for survival is the propagation of everything one identifies with? And if a civilization is to survive beyond its time, doesn't it need to concern itself with such propagation methods as well?
So you're saying your society on Whimsifay is dead, and this is your way of keeping it alive?
Aside from the means of communicating my culture to you, what is so unusual about this? There are many nations on your planet which have engaged in similar practices, including the one you have begun to challenge.
Practices like imperialism?
Conquest can be achieved in so many ways. Often the most effective ways are when the conquered don't even fully grasp that is what's taking place. Does this ring true of the nation you were born in?
I mean, if you're saying America does lots of sketchy shit all over the world, but also has this, like, vast hegemonic influence over everything through culture and economics without even needing to invade all nations of the earth, yeah, I know that. It's some kind of basic shit.
The situation you described surely happens in many deliberate ways, but easily just as much of it must happen automatically as logical and effortless extension of the great power and influence your nation has. In other words, it is natural. It's only natural for a person or a civilization to instinctively seek out ways of propagating itself to assure its continued survival. How many ways has this happened on your planet that you already know of? Methods of colonization may involve sending ships across oceans to occupy foreign land. They may involve wars, cultural erasure, the displacement of large populations, or openly genocidal practices. But all instances of these events on your planet have resulted from the invasion of one continent by another. Is it not also conceivable that your planet could be subject to the same forces from beyond your solar system? I don't mean to alarm you by raising the possibility. The truth is, Earth has nothing to worry about when it comes to the threat of a hostile interstellar invasion. There is no planet in the galaxy that needs to worry about that, because it's impossible. It is? Yes. Space travel is too difficult. The speed of light cannot be exceeded or even safely approached. Our planets are locked apart from each other forever until they all grow cold and die. So it sounds like you're saying if one planet wants to conquer another, they need to use a different method than just sending a bunch of spaceships over and shooting lasers at everybody. Yes, that is true. So are you saying that that's what you're doing here? I am only saying this. Of all that is about to take place on your planet, there is only one person who is responsible for the actions that will bring about these changes. And that person is you.
Wait! Don't go!
Poof.
Wait!
Was your nose bleeding before you passed out? Or is it just bleeding from whatever that dream was? Two weeks later. Oh god. Well, she seems to be better. After a couple weeks in bed, you manage to beat the virus. You feel weak and you still can't put any weight on your wounded leg, but you finally feel well enough to leave Abby's house and get back in the action. 38 million followers now, 1125 posts, 1 following. Speaking of action, even though you could hardly post any content due to being sick, your brand continued its relentless march forward. The evacuation stunt, now widely regarded as a maneuver you orchestrated for the purposes of seizing full possession of the island, grabbed the world's undivided attention as the flashpoint for credible resistance movements against the United States government. The ensuing media frenzy and global political discourse has only served to ratchet up your follower count precipitously. If you were in better health, you'd have been able to appreciate your outrageously snowballing fame a lot more, but as it was, you could barely manage to lift your phone on most days. Today, you're just happy to be able to get out for some fresh air. It's your first in-person debriefing with Ring 3 since you've been sick, or ever, for that matter. All previous meetings were done online while you were all keeping a low profile, but now that you control the island absolutely, there's little need for such discretion. Ring 3, under the delegated supervision of Jacqueline, recently reallocated a nearby country club for meeting purposes. You've just arrived and are ready to hear the full report. You're more than a little anxious to learn what your organization's been up to while you've been in recovery. Didn't even put on the paint first. As they all salute like doofuses. Some of them are crying.
The fuck is all this? I'm getting the full 12 clown salute, huh? Well, I'm flattered, but at ease, bitches. I'm alive and long past due for a proper debriefing. Abby's been keeping me updated on stuff while nursing me back to health, but now that I'm on my feet again, I think it's time to get serious about our full tactical situation and what comes next. Abs, you want to lead the meeting and take it from the top? LOL, me? Sure, you're the secretary of JAPE after all. So I've been told, okay. Here's what's been going on since the evacuation. Woo, it's been so fucking much, let's see. Well, there was the power outage scare, which lasted, what, a day or two? Then that got resolved somehow, and... Abby, this debriefing fucking sucks. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't even know you were going to ask me for one. I just thought I could chill here and listen to you guys. Excuse me. Secretary Abby, it's perfectly alright with us if you want to relax then, listen. And with all due respect and reverence to our Supreme Honkific C, first of all, may I say what an honor it is to finally be addressing you in person, and how relieved we all are to see you recovered. Yeah, sure, what are you trying to say here? You're, Jacqueline, right? Yes, wow, you remember my name! Oh my god, I'm sorry, Supreme Honkific, I'm just, please don't call me that, it sounds fucking ridiculous. Oh, yes, of course. My apologies, Z. I'm afraid I'm losing my composure due to my feelings of admiration for what you have accomplished here. And, cool. We all accomplished this, though. So what's up, Jacqueline? Are you trying to volunteer to give me debriefing instead of Abby? Yes, if that's okay, sir. Don't call me sir either, but yes, it's okay. Whenever you're ready. As Secretary Abby has already touched upon, your evacuation strategy has been an overwhelming success. Virtually all locals have been displaced from the island due to your brilliant and daring act of pranxis, and have been replaced with tens of thousands of Jubilite loyalists. While the media debated whether or not it was a hoax, we made sure to secure the island. We've taken over all major facilities with a militia presence, including the airport. We've also promoted the claim that there are now thousands of bombs deployed all over the island, rigged to detonate if the government reclaims the territory. So, they're free to try if they like, but consequence will simply be the total obliteration of all this valuable property they are claiming we have stolen. Yeah, I heard about the bombs. They hit that part of the story a lot in the media. That was a nice touch. Thank you, sir. I mean, see, it was my idea. But there aren't any actual bombs, are there? Oh, there are a bunch of real bombs for sure, for the sake of taking photographs to prove it isn't completely made up, as well as for detonating a few of them as a warning if it ever comes to that, but yes, you're right, there are far from thousands. Well, that's good to fucking know. Meanwhile, the US military presence has been increasing. A fleet of Navy ships has amassed around the island, presumably to function as a blockade, preventing more ships from arriving. This has stemmed the flow of new recruits coming in, but more importantly, it's resulted in an unofficial embargo. Soon we'll need to consider how to cope with supply shortages unless we can figure out how to disrupt the blockade. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I'm working on it. And the power situation? Right! As our secretary mentioned, we had that unfortunate power disruption. Electricity is, as I'm sure you know, is not generally generated locally on this island. It's supplied from the mainland through 2 underwater cables, regrettably putting us at the mercy of whatever the energy company decides to do. Or worse, what federal authorities talk them into doing. Why is she taking off her clothes? So, as the textbook maneuver goes when it comes to any hostage crisis, which the feds are surely viewing this as, albeit on a much larger scale, they attempted to shut off the power. People on the island were understandably quite upset, so Secretary Abby kindly put out a distress call, and the backlash by our fellow Jubilites was rather intense to say the least. Many forms of pressure were put on the energy company until they relented and restored power to the island. Pressure? Yeah, everything! You name it! Threats, bribes, mass gatherings around their facilities and offices. They quickly realized it wasn't worth it to antagonize us like that, even if the feds were insisting on it. It turns out our movement may have much more leverage upon the institutions than even most government agencies do. Of course, the tremendous financial resources at our disposal make things like this go a lot easier. I really must commend you and Secretary Abby for accumulating so many assets with such a skillful implementation of pranxis. I can't imagine anyone else in the movement has been as successful with the technique as you have. But then, haha, look who I'm talking to here, the inventor of pranxis herself. Whoa, okay, let's slow down here. It's good you all got the power back on. That was important, obviously, but you say you're also spending money to make shit happen now? Yes, we happen. All with Secretary Abby's approval first, of course. I have also been recommending a significant allocation of resources to the newly formed marketing wing of the Jubilite movement. I'm not sure if you've been tracking the metrics. What am I saying? You've been in sick in bed, but you may want to take a look. Our following around the world has exploded since your phenomenal evacuation strategy combined with my marketing methods. I did notice, actually, the numbers have really gone haywire, but I guess getting worldwide attention for conquering an American summer colony will do that, and whatever shit you're doing with the marketing, I'm sure that's good too. How much have you been spending on it? Oh, many millions, but don't worry, according to Secretary Abby, it all represents a minuscule portion of the movement's total assets. Yeah, I thought about it. I thought it sounded okay. We have so much now, and we've hardly done anything with it. What could it hurt? Yeah, this is all totally fine. Actually, it's very good. It transitions nicely into the next section of the manifesto. It does? I was going to start distributing it after the evac stunt, but I got shot in the leg and then got knocked on my ass by the Rona, so the advanced pranks shit got delayed. But it really sounds like you got a head start on some of it without even realizing it. So what is it actually? Well, once you get completely insane amounts of money from your marks, like we've got now, you just keep rolling that money over into new schemes. The money makes everything easier at that point. Doing stuff like you already did just to solve the power issue, you apply pressure. You can buy people off, or use operatives on the mainland to twist people's arms into doing shit, or even both at once. Mostly this was meant to be applied to more financing schemes. For instance, we run through our trusty old political donor list, find some big names, target their money guys, like the financial firms or whatever, and look for weak spots. Nerds who move the money around, buy and sell stocks, whatever it is they do, and just apply pressure. Wave dollar figures in front of their faces that they aren't used to being paid, and threaten them with consequences they're in no way equipped to handle. A few million in bribes here to pry loose a few billion in assets there, and you have a good return on investment. Oh, haha, yes! Makes so much sense. It's so exciting that I was unwittingly anticipating the next phase of operation. Yeah, basically, it is the next logical step, isn't it? LOL, not to me! I had no idea that's where this was going. It sounds really ambitious. So does taking over an island, doesn't it? Yeah, which, I mean, that's been pretty dangerous too. And now it sounds like you're pushing a campaign of, I guess, stealing from as many rich people and companies as possible? Yes. I'm not opposed to it, it's just, my parents are one thing. I felt like, I don't know, like that was some sort of fun game, but this, are you sure we can handle all this? Secretary Abby, not to worry, remember, that's what you have me for. It's perfectly alright if you didn't have the same natural foresight into advanced pranxis which I did. I'm here to complement your position of command, to expand upon it, to make you even more effective. We all have our skills, don't we, Supreme Honk FXC, or, oops, just see, I mean, she's a great visionary, the glorious clown mother of all that we celebrate here on this island. Whereas I would like to see myself as a very skilled administrator, someone who can handle all that boring stuff with money, logistics, planning, and whatnot. And you're good at, well, you have an incredible social media presence, and you're super pretty, and you have a beautiful horse, so you see, we have something to contribute. Each of us is like a puzzle piece that fits into the big picture. And if it pleases you, Z, I could simply carry on with what I've already been doing so effectively. I could oversee the advanced pranxis initiatives you were envisioning. Just say the word, and I will begin building teams to carry out your orders immediately. So, you want to be in charge of advanced pranxis, huh? Question mark, question mark, question marks. Fuck it! Why not? Yeah, why not? Smiley faces. I'll publish a chapter soon, but this material needs to stay internal for now. Can't be too public about it until we have a lot of plays in motion. Don't want to tip our hands too early. Get back to me tomorrow when you have a plan. We can talk about it more then. I gotta go home and lie down. My leg's still killing me. Abby, ready to go? This lady makes me uncomfortable. Especially that extra zoom in. She's up to something. Later. Oh hey, fighter jets. It feels good to get back to our expensive wine dinners again. Just like old times. Old times, yeah. Shit's only been, what, 2 months? Christ. Yeah, wow, feels like fucking years have gone by. Are you sure you're good to be staying out here like this? You can always go lie back down if you're not feeling well. Nah, I'm good. I need to, like, force myself to get back to normal. Things have held up pretty well, but to be honest, the vibe of this scene has gotten pretty weird in my absence. Yeah, that new girl's, like, a lot? I'm trying to remember where she even came from. Didn't you appoint her to Ring 3? Yeah, I did, but she kind of quietly moved up the ladder after some positions got shuffled around, and I hardly remember hearing anything from her at all. Like, she was mostly quiet and just, like, idle, waiting for instructions like most of the others. Now she's this chatty fucking Kathy all of a sudden. Well, she stepped up when you got sick, and I had no idea what to do. She's been such a huge help, actually. It might have all fallen apart if it were only up to me. Not saying she isn't doing useful work. Of course she wants to overachieve now that she's got the spotlight, and the stuff she's doing will probably undeniably help the movement. Like, with the advanced pranxis shit, I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't go out and shake down a whole ton of money from a bunch of new suckers. I'm just saying, my alarm bells are going off with her, and I'm not sure why yet. I just have a spider sense for these things. It's probably not good for your health to get too caught up in paranoia. I think she's just most likely just a nice girl who got inspired by the stuff you wrote, and now she's trying really hard to impress you, that's all. I can kind of relate to where she's coming from. Oh, so that explains our friendship, huh? You've just been trying to impress me with your sexy wiles and charms to end up second in command of my seditious clown empire. LOL, you figured out my master plan! I saw you in that restaurant waiting tables one time and was like, now there's a girl who's going to cause Nantucket Island to secede from the Union with a clown-themed social media campaign. You sure know how to play the long game, embedding yourself as a high-ranking official in my impromptu paramilitary circus for years, just for your shot at getting that lesbian kiss out of me you've always been after. Stop! Don't mess with me like that. It's so mean. I'm done trying to put the moves on you, I swear. It looks like did she just spit wine out of her nose? I'm just trying to take care of you. You've been in such bad shape and got yourself in so much trouble. Well, we both got ourselves in so much trouble. And we need to take care of each other until we can, like, survive this? I know, I'm just joking around. I'm always just joking. I'm not trying to be mean to you, I just joke around when I'm stressed about stuff. You don't need to relax, you just need to relax. Don't think about all this garbage constantly, at least take a break from it all at night. Other people can worry about the hard stuff for you now. That's what all your obsequious clown helpers are for. Here, let me top you off. Yeah, I don't know if I should drink this, I'm kinda fucked up on pain meds. Oh, yeah, good point. Well, more for me then, lol. I don't remember you being this much of a wine mom before all this. I must have done this to you, didn't I? No, I've just been so stressed. I've never been through anything in my life what the last couple of weeks were like. With you sick and dealing with the government and my parents and the fandom and the media going ballistic over this. I've had to find ways to cope. I'm sorry, God. I should have thought that through what this was going to be like for you. Don't be sorry. I've been right here watching how all this unfolded. You got fucked over by cops and all you wanted to do was fight back, and that, like, got all mixed up with your new project. Probably no one out there can possibly understand the truth about why you felt like you had to take it this far, but I do. Yeah, that's always been the problem. When you're under attack by murderous assholes with all the power and laws on their side, you can roll over and die, run away or whatever, or you can fight, but once you start fighting, the question is always, when do you even stop? And then you realize you can't, because once you start, you establish yourself as a threat to them and they'll stop at nothing to put you down. So it turns out you can't stop fighting until the threat is completely wiped out, or they'll just keep coming. Then the question becomes, who's they? Is it just the police? Well, who the fuck do they work for? Turns out they is really the whole system. All corporate and state power. If they constantly show they want you dead if you're willing to fight back at all, then what choice do you even have but to keep fighting to the death? Yikes, but yeah, you're totally right, I can see it now. It's not like I even wanted this, taking over a whole island? That wasn't really in the blueprint. They forced my hand though, I'm just tired. Well, the runner really wiped you out. I know, I mean, mentally too. I spent the last 2 weeks in and out of a COVID and pain med fog, but that day I got shot. Some real serious shit happened that day, which I had barely any time to process with my rational brain. Yeah, you lost a lot that day. You found out about your mom and then Percy. I felt so sorry for you, but haven't known what to say. Do you want to talk about it? Man, which one? Both of those topics are two completely different conversations. Either one you want. I'm not prepared at all for whatever the conversation about my mom would be. As for Percy, don't know what to say, it just sucks. I know you always like to tease him, but it seemed to me like you actually really liked him. It's okay to mourn for a person you cared about. I don't think I liked him like that, though. It's more complicated. Isn't he still on your unlock screen? Oh, yeah. I don't know. It sounds like you did like him like that. Abby, Percy was my soldier and he died because of me. He died for this cause. He died because I sent him down this road and he never even knew what I was signing him up for. You're a soldier, huh? Okay, if you insist that's how it was. But just remember, I'm your friend and you can talk to me. You don't have to run away from your feelings forever. I'm not running away from shit, it's the truth. It's true about all these people here and all over the world now. They all signed up for something I started, which could end up very badly for everyone if I fuck anything else up, but it's not like I can just stop. The fate of too many people depends on me now, and the forces we're attacking here legitimately are quite evil. So I can't shake the feeling this is all important work to be doing, in addition to just being a necessity of survival, and then my insane dreams keep reaffirming this. Dreams? Yeah, they've been getting more intense. You mean the same kind of dreams which inspired your manifesto? Yes, I've had some more while I was sick. They're more vivid than ever. He speaks to me more clearly now. Who? Riotous. The mythical clown god my brain made up, who's probably fake, but now I'm not even sure about that, so maybe I'm going crazy. Or maybe it was just the disease wreaking havoc on my mind? I'm sure that's what it was. I don't think you should start drinking your own Kool-Aid on this lore. I mean, it's neat and all, but I'm not that serious. I think it's just my subconscious talking to me. But it's very lucid stuff. All this material I'm spreading around, it's like a vision from some other place. And it feels like it all has some intense need to spread itself throughout the universe. Like colonizing the world, overriding our various nations and cultures, but without any actual invasions. Instead, it's more like it's being channeled through me from a place we can't even comprehend. So you mean like imperialism? Isn't that bad though? I thought your manifesto was on record as saying that all sucks. It does. That's kind of been the kind that's been practiced on Earth, and if aliens sent ships to Earth and conquered us, that would be bad too. But I think this is something different. I have no idea if it's good or bad really, but if it catches on with everyone and turns out to be what cures this planet of shit like injustice, economic inequality, and all that, could it really be that bad? I don't think I'm qualified to answer that, but it sounds a bit like a rationalization. Maybe the kind that more traditional imperialists have used to justify expanding their own influence in the past? Like, they could have said, if only we invade this poor country or that one, just think of all the boons our advanced society could give them. New science and medicine or whatever, or new forms of morality because our religion is better than theirs, stuff like that, you know? Yeah, you could be right. I gotta stop thinking like this. Like, these are anything but weird dreams? Or telling myself this is all any deeper than just some story I wrote. It's just a story. It's just a story. Ugh! It's driving me crazy! So stop thinking about all your clown lore for a little while. Just rest. You're still recovering, remember? No, it's not even that. It's the clown girl, Jocelyn. It's still gnawing at me. Where do I know her from? I have no idea. I bet Jocelyn is that one lady who's just been trying to take her down the whole time every time she makes a new Instagram. To be honest, there are just way too many fucking clowns for me to even keep track of anymore, and they all have clown Sona names and faces, and sometimes people even change to different ones, so who even knows who anyone is anymore? Wasn't that the point? Your manifesto says it's all about the, like, malleability of identity? Like, take total control of who you are, nobody else gets to decide, not your parents or the government or whatever, right? Yeah, still, just have such a weird feeling about it. You should just try to sleep soon. Let me clean up, and then I'll help you upstairs, okay? Yeah. Something occurs to you. It was that tattoo. Dharma. Isn't that the Lost thing? Haven't you seen it before? Then it hits you. You open your now massive list of haters. You scroll all the way to the top where the oldest antis are. The first one you click on is the one you click on is the very first actually. Candice Mantis. Jocelyn couldn't really be. Could she? It is! It's her! This was the first bitch who canceled you! Oh shit.
Well, I called that. I didn't remember her name, but I called it. Ah, right, narration. Alright, so that's the end of chapter 6. I wonder if the lady is, like, actually trying to sabotage the movement, or it looks like she was already completely insane. Okay, so, that does it for this episode of Let's Play Psycholonials. In the next one, we're going to be playing Chapter 7, It Never Even Stood a Chance. So, if you like this, a like and a subscribe would be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things. If you want to click the bell, you can do that as well, so you're notified of future uploads. And I will see y'all in the next one. Later.